This is Blue Gold News Now, your source for campus news, bringing you campus happenings, sports, and weather every week. Now live from Tower Studio, it's BNN with your hosts, Samantha Burnett and Marissa Day.
Good evening, I'm Samantha Burnett.
And I'm Marissa Day.
Coming up tonight, a look at where to spend Thanksgiving in Eau Claire.
The first ever Indigenous market hosted by the Intertribal Student Council.
And your weekly recap of Blue Gold Sports on BNN Blitz.
But first, Oakleaf Clinics is looking to bring more healthcare support to the Eau Claire community. A new development in Eau Claire area healthcare this week, Oakleaf Clinics is in the process of opening a new location off of Mall Drive in Eau Claire. In a press release regarding the new location, Oakleaf Clinics explained that urgent care capacity is a key concern for them after the Previa and HSHS hospital closures at the end of April. The new clinic comes with full lab services and imaging capability to help Oakleaf Clinic staff diagnose and treat all sorts of conditions, from minor cuts, sprains, and broken bones to sinus problems, cold and flu symptoms, strep, allergic reactions, and other minor illness to help decrease the pressure put on emergency rooms across the Chippewa Valley. For more information on the new location and services Oakleaf Clinics offers, visit www.oakleafclinics.com. Well, Sam, we were talking about, Oakleaf Clinics and specifically the HSHS and Prevea closures back in April.
Yeah.
I remember when we kind of, started our co-hosting and such, it was one of those things that came up, with talking about those things.
Yeah. So it's definitely nice that they're opening more with the closing of that hospital to have more opportunities for people to go to in Eau Claire.
Yeah, it was something that a lot of people living in Eau Claire had concerns about, and getting coverage and being able to do those things. So I think they're noticing some things that are concerning with emergency room numbers and trying to find active solutions. It's cool.
Yeah. Earlier this evening, the Intertribal Student Council hosted the first ever Indigenous market on campus. The event took place at Davies Center in the Dakota Ballroom and offered all sorts of goods and arts made by local Indigenous artists. This event was similar to other Indigenous markets, which often have a variety of handmade pieces ranging from jewelry and beadwork to pottery and sculptures, in addition to a variety of artwork that can also include paintings, carvings, and photography. You can often find a variety of textile items such as rugs and blankets. This year's Indigenous Market was the first ever hosted by the Intertribal Student Council and one of many events the council hosts to bring awareness and education about Indigenous cultures here at UW Eau Claire.
Coming up after the break, a CVTC Veterans Day tradition serving those who served our country.
And a group of Blue Golds making a difference in the community this winter.
Stay tuned.
B5.
Well, I got a 7, so +2.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we should probably read the directions next time.
Probably. You know what does make sense? Game show. Hi, I'm Abe.
And I'm Somerset.
We're the host of Game Show.
If you want to see us play more games like this, or Jeopardy!
Or The Price is Right.
Check us out on mytv10.uwec.edu.
And if you ever want to be in one of our episodes, make sure to scan the QR code somewhere on the screen. Peace.
As the holiday season approaches and winter weather brings colder temperatures to the Chippewa Valley, UWEC students are looking to support those without shelter this winter.
BNN reporter Cora Lederer has the story.
UWEC students are working to make a difference for those experiencing homelessness in Eau Claire. The project is inspired by a CJ 307 class project designed to get students to focus on a social problem. The project is intended to make students think and create a meaningful change on an issue of their choosing. The group has chosen to work with the Sojourner House and other places like it around the Eau Claire area. The group is working to collect items to donate to shelters. They are working to set up donation boxes at places around campus, such as the library check-in area and the tower's lobby. Supplies are being collected from now until the end of October, particularly items to keep people warm in cold winter months, like jackets, socks, blankets, and foot warmers. Anything designed to keep warm. Jed Netter states that he was inspired to do this project because of observations going to and from work in winter.
I used to work like at a business right off Barstow Street, so I was like always surrounded by like the homelessness. Like I've seen a lot of it like on my way to and from work, and it's just very disheartening, especially last winter, like seeing so many of them outside and cold, and just being cold myself, even like on the walk to class, and it's just I couldn't imagine what it was like to be not have a home or have a place to be warm.
Although this project began as part of a class, the students are doing more than completing a class assignment. They are channeling their efforts into working toward making a difference of the lives of those in need. For BNN, I'm Cora Lederer. Back to you, Sam and Marissa.
Thanks, Cora.
Well, I mean, what a cool idea, and being able to take inspiration from a class project, it really shows that, the hands-on experience you get at UW-Eau Claire can inspire you to do great things.
Yeah, and it's really nice the amount of initiative they're taking to help those in the community. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, especially those experiencing homelessness. I mean, when that cold weather temperature comes in, it can be really difficult, and it's definitely a group of people that we want to be able to help here at UW-Eau Claire, and cool that students are getting involved with that. Speaking of helping in the community, this Veterans Day, students at the Chippewa Valley Technical College continued a tradition to give back to veterans in their community. For the past 8 years, CVTC students pursuing degrees in dental, cosmetic, and radiology programs have volunteered at the Give Vets a Smile event, offering services like dental care, massages, haircuts, lung testing, and more, absolutely free of charge. The clinic benefits both the veterans who receive services and the students at CVTC who are given the opportunity to have hands-on experiences in their desired programs. According to an interview with WQOW News 18, program coordinator Debbie Schumacher shared that around 100 area veterans were able to take part in the free event this year.
This Sunday, the Residence Hall Association, or RHA, is hosting a real-life Clue game. For those of you that don't know Clue, it's a murder mystery game aimed at finding out who did it, what they used, and where they did it. For this game, the goal will be to figure out what happened to the RHA Activities and Programming Chair. This will take place on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. and will start at Hilltop and search all of Upper Campus. The event is open to any and all who are interested. If you are interested, check out the event on Blue Gold Connect Plus, where you can register to play. Well, how about that? I think it's a fun activity to allow students to, just do things together. And I think it's really cool that they're, involving also the workers in it as well.
Yeah, that's a cool way to, get the word out about RHA, as a housing organization and get students involved with it. It's a really creative event, too. I've never heard of somebody doing that.
Yes, yeah, sounds fun.
Really fun. BNN will be right back after this break.
Stick around for your weather forecast and an update on Blue Gold Sports on BNN Blitz.
Get ready for the ultimate variety experience. Handful is here to shake up your evenings with non-stop entertainment. From jaw-dropping performances to hilarious comedy sketches, Handful has something for everyone. Join us for the wild ride every week, filled with laughter, surprises, and unforgettable memories. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Handful.
Thank you, Sam and Marissa. Good evening. I'm David Abel, filling for Kevin Miro with your weekly weather forecast. After a week of rain and gloomy skies, today in Eau Claire, it was partly sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 37. The rest of this weekend is going to look similar. Friday, again, with a high of 52, and Saturday and Sunday will both be mostly cloudy with highs in the mid to low 50s. Moving to next week, on Monday, it will remain mostly sunny with a high of 52, and Tuesday will dip down below the 50-degree mark with a high of 49. By Wednesday, it will be mostly cloudy again with a high of 39. Looking beyond Eau Claire, in Chippewa Falls today, it was partly sunny and 50 degrees. In Menominee, also partly sunny with a high of 50. And in Lake City, overcast skies with 50 degrees. In Red Wing, it is 48 and overcast. And finally, the Twin Cities saw a high of 47 degrees and lots of clouds throughout both Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's all for this week. Be sure to tune in next week to see what Mother Nature has in store for us. I'm David Abel. Back to you, Sam and Marissa.
Welcome to BNN Blitz. I'm John McClain.
And I'm Andrew Thaler with your weekly recap of Blue Gold sports action. Blue Gold's men's basketball leave the Market & Johnson tournament tip-off 1-1 under new head coach Zach Melvick. The Blue Gold's basketball team won Game 1 against number 14 Nebraska Wesleyan 68-64. They started off slow but led by 7 3-pointers by Michael Casper, who had 25 points in total. The Blue Golds won. Andre Renta, the transfer from St. Cloud State, had 17 points and had some clutch free throws to put the game away. In the second game, the Blue Goats took a hard-fought loss to Gustavus Adolphus, 86-80 in overtime. The Blue Goats started out well, but when Carter Hushka got into foul trouble early in the second half, the Blue Goats struggled to stop the Gusties' paint game. Andre Renta had a career high in points with 19. Michael Casper had another great game, scoring 18. Lastly, Drew Maloney gave the Blue Goats 17. UW-Eau Claire hits the road for the first time this season when it travels to Marietta Shrine Tournament from November 15th to 16th. The Blue Goats play the host, Marietta, in their tournament opener on November 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Stocks in Blue Gold's men's soccer just keep on rising as UWEC goes 2 for 2 in conference titles this year, clinching the outright league title last week, now adding another piece of hardware to the trophy case as the Blue and Gold won the WIAC tournament over the Pioneers of Platteville this previous Sunday on their home turf of Simpson Field. Eau Claire was ranked as the 1 seed heading into the tournament this past weekend, and their path consisted of winning against Whitewater 4-0 on Friday night and then capturing the championship on Sunday 1-0 over the previously mentioned Pioneers. This tournament win marks the first of the program's history, albeit a short one, only having been in operation since 2020. Key performances were provided by the freshman forward Tobias Volkman as he provided a hat trick in the semis and making his case for the SportsCenter top 10, Owen Williams with the eventual game-winning bicycle kick against Platteville in the title game. This crucial win helped punch the Blue Gold's tickets to hosting the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament at Simpson Field, in which they will face off against the Foresters of Lake Forest College on Friday at 1 p.m. The winner will then play on Saturday, November 16th at 1 p.m. against the winner of Hope versus DePauw, as that game will also be played in Eau Claire.
A meet composed of almost exclusively all of the top 25 swimming and diving teams in D3 took place at the University of Chicago over the weekend. Although the Blue Goats did not place high in the standings, with the women's team placing 8th out of 10 teams and the men's team placing 10th, head coach Andy Ryder said many of the swimmers swam their best times, which is not the norm for this time of the season. The Blue Goats scored multiple top 5 finishes, led by Caden Denner and Ben Keller, who both took third in one event. Denner placed third in the men's 400-yard individual medley, while Keller took third in the men's 200-yard individual medley. Keller also placed fifth in the 200-yard butterfly. Molly Hozak led the Blue Goats women with a pair of fourth-place finishes. She took fourth in both the 200-yard freestyle and 500-yard freestyle. Blake Wallen notched a pair of fourth-place finishes on the men's diving board. He was fourth in both the 1-meter and 3-meter competitions. Ian Olsen took fourth in the men's 100-yard breaststroke and placed fifth in the 200-yard breaststroke. Elena Plonis took fourth in the women's 200-yard butterfly. The Blue Goats are back in dual action on Friday, November 15th. Both the men and women host St. Cloud State at the McPhee Center pool, beginning at 5 p.m.
The Blue Gold's women hockey team took on the St. Olaf Olis over the weekend. The Blue Golds fell behind 2-0 early in their second period and were held scoreless until late in the second period when Samantha Banholtz and Laura Bollinger responded with a pair of goals to tie it up. The Blue Golds took over in the third, scoring early with a goal from Ashley Wagenbach to take the lead. The Blue Golds shut down the Olis for the rest of the third and secured the sweep with a victory of 3-2. The Blue Golds will hit the road and take on Northland College in their next matchup. That's all for the world of Blue Gold sports. I'm John McClain.
And I'm Andrew Thaler. Back to you, Sam Marissa.
Thanks, John and Andrew.
Welcome back to the BNN Weekend Report. This week we're going to be chatting about a few different things that you can do in Eau Claire in the coming weeks. Well, why don't we take a look at what the first couple things that we're going to be talking about. We're talking about Thanksgiving. Now, I know it's a little early to be talking about Thanksgiving, but BNN will not have a normal show next week, and we won't have, a normal BNN Weekend Report. So based on that, we wanted to talk a little bit about this because not everybody goes home for the fall holidays, and not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, which is also valid. But if you are somebody that is celebrating or just somebody that's looking for a home-cooked dinner on Thanksgiving Day, you know, if it just so happens to be Thanksgiving Day, there's a couple of different options for you in the Chippewa Valley. Now, there's a couple of free community dinners. So the Community Table and Hope Gospel Mission are two different places where you can go without booking a reservation or anything and get a free dinner. And actually, it's kind of fun because Hope Gospel Mission offers a drive-through option as well to take your dinner to go. So if you're craving turkey dinner or traditional Midwestern home-cooked favorites for Thanksgiving, those are some great options. And I know there's, you know, some people that live on campus that it's a far drive, you know, or to get home or a big commute, and you know, and some people maybe don't want to go home for whatever reason, you know, maybe you don't want to be, you know, experiencing your home life. So if you still want that sense of community togetherness, I think those are good options for you.
Sure, yeah.
But if you're around in the area in general and you want to take yourself out for a nicer dinner, it looks like there's a couple of options. These are just some places that offered Thanksgiving dinners last year. Now these restaurants haven't come out with their official menus for Thanksgiving this year, or whether or not they'd be open or what their hours are. But according to Volume 1 from last year, and a couple of different news networks from last year, including WEAU News 13 and WQOW News 18, The Informalist, Johnny's Italian Steakhouse, and Altoona Family Restaurant all offered Thanksgiving meals last year. So looking in the coming weeks to see if those restaurants will offer it again as another option.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. You know, I think it's just a nice opportunity, not only for college students, but just for the community to have a variety of different places to be able to go. If, you know, they're having not necessarily traditional Thanksgiving, it's nice to have those options.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there's plenty of fun things to do around Eau Claire at that time, too.
Yeah. Well, we can move on to the next slide. I did not focus on Thanksgiving, but I have a few different pottery places. I thought it'd be a fun opportunity. I love painting pottery. And I found a few different places. There's Glass and Glaze, and that's a place where you can go buy a piece of pottery that is already made, paint it, and they like glaze it for you, and then you can pick it up later. And it's always such a fun time to be able to go and do that with your friends. But if you're a little bit more creative, I did include Half Moon and Abyss Creative Studio, which both have pottery making classes where you can actually make the piece yourself, which I've always thought is such a fun idea. So just, you know, they're all around the Eau Claire, Altoona area if you're looking for something fun to do one weekend.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. I mean, that Glass and Glaze, I didn't know that we had a paint your own pottery spot in Eau Claire. So
I know.
That might have to be some Blue Gold News Now staff bonding.
Yes, it's always so fun. Yeah.
But I mean, really cool options too for people who are super creatively and artistically inclined too, to be able to test their hand at making, literally test their hands at making some pottery of their own.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for something to do, or Christmas gifts, or any sort of holiday gifts to bring home to your family, nothing says I love you like homemade pottery that may or may not have been successful.
Exactly, yes.
Well, I think that's all we have for you tonight.
Join us next week for your latest news, updates, and weather.
Make sure to check us out at UWEC TV 10 on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Marissa Day.
And I'm Samantha Burnett. Thank you and good night.